come back another day. That's a good amount to give people like a few tips, but not overwhelm them.
Right. I think what we're going to do, I just come up with this kind of listening to you talk about what you want and stuff. I think we're going to make this one a progression. We're going to do one like every 2 weeks on the same horse and update, add degrees of difficulty, to the pattern. Today, if I let him jog too slow, he's going to split him, hit him. If I move him up, I'm going to show the difference, the pace the pace you don't want and the pace you do want, and the bridge, negate, but basic maneuvers, nothing in this is tight. Okay. So are you ready? Am I talking? Can you hear me?
Well, I assume I can because my little blue light's
on. Okay. So
you're good.
Today we're going to kind of talk about starting a trail horse or green trail horses and how do we get there. I'm riding Eli today. Eli is a senior horse. We know that. He belongs to my sister-in-law. We think he's 6 or 7, but we're not real sure. But in his previous life, to the best of our knowledge, he's not done any trail, doesn't act like he knows trail. A couple weeks ago, we started him just going over logs. So he's still very green. What I'm going to do today or hope to do is just kind of show you some basic stuff. A couple things to keep in mind when you start a trail horse. You want to be very slow and patient and not overly corrective or intimidating with them if they make mistakes. If you've listened to a couple of our tapes earlier, one of my philosophies is you only learn on the bad days and you only learn by making mistakes. If everything's perfect, you don't learn what got you there. So you got to, when they make mistakes, it's okay. You just got to figure out how to fix them. So I'm going to show you some bad things that he was doing a week or two ago and a little bit of how I'm working at getting them corrected. I think what our goal is going to be, because trail is progressive, you can't go one day and just start it and the next day, be a world champion at it. It takes a long time and lots of progression. So what my hopes are, probably won't be on a weekend, but we're going to do a tape with Eli every couple weeks to show you progression between now and the first part of June. It is my goal, because he is old and broke. We're a little ahead of the game. I'm pretty sure most people have shown their horse in pleasure and want to add another event to it, i.e. trail. And so I don't have to teach him a lot of rate and pace. I can do a lot of that because he's a pretty nice showmanship, horsemanship horse, and he understands patterns and things like that. So my goal is to be able to show him, hopefully in the green trail at the Pinto World Show in about 6-8 weeks. I'm running a little bit behind, may not make that, but we're going to try. So we're going to give you an opportunity to follow along over time and watch his progress, and it'll be a test to see how good I am at teaching him, but hopefully he'll learn in spite of me. So with that, we're going to get started. We'll just start with some walk stuff. Let me move out of the way here. I've got a very simple but yet versatile series of it's just really 2 boxes, and you'll want to follow along. I'll make clover leaves out of it. I love my clover leaves, everybody knows that. My pleasure warm-up is all on clover leaves and everything. We'll do the little bit of bridge a little later. You see the little rope gate, and I'll do that at the end, and that'll be how we exit. We exit the gate. We exit the video. So right now those don't play into it. So
Brett, what is the spacings in your logs?
Good question. Walk logs are 2 foot apart, inside to inside, not center to center, inside to inside, or multiples thereof. Jog or trot logs are 3 foot, inside to inside. Lope logs are 6 foot. So 6 foot is very versatile. I can walk over one, two, three. It'd be a 3 stride walk. Walk over the next one. Trots on 6 foot are 2 strides over the next pole. So everything here is set at 6 foot or multiples thereof. The big box on the outside is 18 foot square. The middle box is 6 foot square. So I can lope 3 strides. I can lope 1 stride. I can trot 3 strides. Walk 4 or 5 strides in the box, and I'll demonstrate that. We'll make another little clover leaf in the box where you're walking that 2 foot. They've got to pick where they're going just by a series of right or left hand turns. You can do the same thing jogging. You can jog that a corner. You can jog the box. There's just a lot of versatility that you can get out of that. But 2 foot, 3 foot, and 6 foot, or multiples thereof. The reason I start with this, I've watched too many people over the years not be patient, or they want to hurry the process along. And then their trail horses will get scared of a particular obstacle or get anxious of jogging or loping over something because they try to do too much too fast. That's why, for the first 2 or 3 weeks or a month, I take everything slow. I don't trap them. The big box, you can back the L. You can stay close to the little box on the inside, but you don't. And I'll even do that hopefully today. Don't let me forget some of this stuff, Julie. But you don't put them in a bad spot by trying to do a 3 foot L or a series of 3 or 4 logs at a walk or even a jog or lope. Just one thing at a time, and let them kind of learn and get comfortable, confident, safe and confident, and not full of anxiety. So that's why today you're seeing everything opened up, very easy, very simple, non-threatening, to build his trust and confidence that he can do this.
And granted, there's a ways to have all these beautiful white logs, which we have a few of those, but we can paint those. Those are just landscape timbers that we've got at the hardware store. We used a really good piece of plywood to use as our bridge. If you can get a hold of a pallet and then put a really good piece of plywood so they can't fall through it over the top, there's lots of ways for you to make these trail obstacles without, I can't afford to do it. And
Right.
if you look here, like at our not our bridge, our gate, that is just 2 barrels that we have filled with dirt, and we have got PVC pipe coming out of it. So, we have not invested a ton of money in making these obstacles so that it's easy for us to have them to practice at home and drag them around wherever we need them. Sometimes they're here in the arena, sometimes they're out back in our outdoor arena.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's when you see the outdoor, I've probably got 50 or 60 logs out there and a multiple of different obstacles and different maneuvers and stuff. And that would be really expensive if I had jump logs for everything. And they wear out, and here in the Midwest, they're going to get wet and they'll rot. And as horses hit them, they'll chip them and the paint comes off. And so we do it as cost effectively as we possibly can.
Okay, and as Brent's going to start doing this, I want to kind of caution you from the standpoint of, if you're jogging these logs and jogging these logs and jogging these logs, if the horse ticks it 3 or 4 times, trust me, it's moved enough that you need to reconsider getting off your horse and getting it set back to the correct spacing. You're going to do more damage if your
Cause
horse
more problems,
cannot,
not damage, but cause more problems. You're exactly right.
if they can't do the correct strides just because those logs have gotten spun and moved and, an inch here, and by the time you have now hit it 8 times, you could be anywhere from 8 inches to a foot off. And
Correct.
all you're doing is teaching your horse to make not cadenced strides over the trail obstacles.
There may come a time as this horse gets more experience that you want to do that, because you want to teach him rate and everything, but that's only on a confident, more experienced horse. Starting out, you want to teach them how to do it correctly and then adjust from there. It's just like your job. Your boss wants you to learn how to do things correctly, then you may learn your own shortcuts or how to do that a little better, a little easier. And horses are the same way, but you got to start out doing everything correctly. So you're exactly right, Julie. So, yeah. So with all of that, we're going to get started. I'll just start off doing some walk. We'll walk through one way and you'll just follow along. This horse, even though he's very broke, I will be riding him with 2 hands. I want to give him some confidence and let him know I don't want him to make wrong maneuvers or scared. So we're just going to start walking. I want him to be patient.
Now, if you stop this and rewind it, I want you to pay attention to how precise and the even stride that horse took as he walked through there. He didn't have to take one big step, a couple little steps.
The other thing, very important, notice I'm looking up. It's just like if I look down, he's going to stop or hesitate if I'm watching. Jumping. In a previous life years ago, I did do a little bit of jumping, and every time I looked at where I'm taking off instead of over the jump, the horse would stop. Horses follow your eyes, and they don't know. If you look up, they're walking towards that, feeling their way through, hunting their way through. If I'm down here looking where he places his foot, he's got to figure out what I'm doing, and do I go? Do I stop here? What's going on? So and I've got a bad habit of looking down. Most of us do. It's just human nature, I think. But pick a point, just like horsemanship, showmanship. Find a point on the wall, something that you're going to, not just exactly in front of you. The other thing you'll learn in jog and lope, look at the next log, the next log, the next log. Look right ahead of where you're going, just like you're driving a car. 25 to 50 feet, you're going to look 6 to 10 feet in front of you. Notice I'm leaning up over, getting my weight off of the back of the horse. If I just sit back on this, I'll bet you, I'm going to bet that he's going to hit a log someplace along here.
And he's going to make you out to be a liar.
Every time. But you want to help. It's our responsibility to put the horse in a position to be successful. So, I weigh 250 pounds. It's much harder for him to lift me and his back, when I'm sitting like this. He hit 3 of the 4. You may have not heard him. They may have been rubs, but he hit 3 of the 4 that time. Here, let's go back this way so that they can see. Okay, this time I'm leaning up over. It's letting him walk forward with forward motion. Well, and
He
even
hit
at
one.
that, he hit one. I can tell you I let him go too fast. I should have checked him back, closed my legs, and made him hesitate just a minute microsecond instead of taking that bigger step. He added a step on that last one, so I'm going to show you a little bit how to school him. Hopefully, over 50 years of doing this, I've learned to have soft hands and the patience required. But like when I walk up here, see how fast he took off. I just pull him back off the bridle. I'm not ripping his face. I'm not screaming at him. I'm just saying, no, be a little bit more patient. I've closed my legs. I've taught him how to, when I close my legs and pull, to drop from here, from their withers. See how much more patient he was and is. Close my legs, made him wait. Perfect. I hope that gives you some idea about the walk. We'll just pick up a jog and kind of do the same things. I'm going to show you some bad stuff to start with. I'm only going to do the 2 logs. Let's go this way. Okay, you go too slow, that's what you get. I got a bunch of stutter steps in there. I got a tick on the last log. He just didn't go with much enthusiasm for it and just really kind of lazy. So I'm going to pick his trot up a little bit.
Basically, what Brent is telling you is that your jog that you're going to want to go over your trail obstacles is not a Western pleasure jog.
It's a a slow, moderate extension of the jog. That tick was from being green. He didn't know exactly where I wanted to go. See, I mixed it up on him. I added a log to it. He had body functions that he wanted to get done in the middle of it. My cones are here for a reason, and I wasn't using them. You want to use the maximum space and get straight. He chipped a little bit. That's from being green, but that was a 0 even with the chip adding a stride. That was probably a 0 maneuver in the scores.
For those that don't know what a chip is, what is a chip?
Chip is adding a step right before you get there. It's see how he's got that's chipping in and losing his rhythm. That time I was too slow. So I'm going to go back to 2 hands, drive with my legs, add just a tiny bit of pace. I'm not going to do a hunt seat trot. There. I didn't let him lift his head and neck up like I had been. I'm going outside my cones, giving him plenty of room to do it, to get that rhythm and pace. Now, the other thing I'm going to try to help him by helping myself even trot. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2.
See, those were chips. If you paid attention, he had little stutters and added a stride before he finished those, particularly that last log.
I'm going to go back to just 2 logs. Gotta stay focused, buddy. There, see how he was more comfortable with just 2 when we had those other, and so he's, whoops, I wasn't supposed to do that. You weren't supposed to see that. There.
Okay, that's probably.
I was going to say he's getting bored with this, and he's getting a little frustrated. So we're going to do a couple other little things with him. We're going to walk into the box and turn a square. Turn them inside the box. Now, when we start out, I'm going to help him a lot. And I'm going to show you how to stay in the box and have the maneuverability. This is where it's really important to have your body control buttons installed before then. You want to be able to do a forehand turn, turn over the haunches, side pass, have complete control. He's a little bit getting ahead of me, but if you've noticed, I walked right into the point, got parallel to the wall. Now I'm going to move his shoulders over. Whoa. And then I'm going to move back, move his hip over to the, and now I've got 3/4 of the way. I should do this the other way so they can see better. But I've got 3/4 of the box to turn in. I've got all the room that I can possibly maximize out of this. So he's in a position, he's a long, tall horse, and he's in a position to make this really tight 6-foot turn. So I move his shoulders over, walking back up into the point, move his hip over, move his shoulders over, move his hip over, move his shoulders over, and he's starting to learn, okay, I can do this.
But there's no way, for those of you that are really green at this, there's no way you can get into that box and pivot because your horse is just way too big. You have to manipulate the entire body of your horse to be able to make a 6-foot box.
Jessica. This is our
guest for the weekend.
Yes, guest for the weekend. She has a horse here that we are contemplating selling for her, or she's contemplating selling, and she's here to kind of evaluate where she's at and what she's doing. That's good, honey. Thank you. So, okay, I'm going to side pass over here a step. And I'm going to go to the right this time. And I've put myself in a position to be parallel to the wall, or to the log. I'll say wall a lot. But, and again, if you can see better this time, I've got 3/4 of it. I'm going to softly, slowly come to the point, let him relax. I don't want him getting in a hurry. I want him paying attention to me. There's some activity going on in the aisleway that's distracting. Now I'm going to move his hip over. Whoa. Move his shoulders. Whoa. Hey. Move his hip over. Note that I'm kind of looking in the direction I'm going. He does follow your eyes, so just like doing a turn or a pivot, you want him to follow your eyes. So move his hip, shoulders. Whoa.
He's fine.
Now I want him to be in the center for exit. And when you're starting out, you should do it this slow or even slower. One of my favorite things to tell our students is it should take as long as it takes to smoke a cigarette to do this box the first time. Now, I've never smoked in my life. It's one of the few bad habits I don't have. I don't know how long that is, but I know if you take a minute or 2 minutes or whatever seems to be an exorbitant amount of time to do that, and you get them to stay relaxed and stuff like this, you've got a good, strong foundation to build on. Do it correctly to begin with, add speed to it later. So now on the exit, he's in a position right now. He's either going to take a small step, 2 small steps to get out, or 1 big one. This is where he's got to depend on me. What do I do? He's got about 3 foot right there from his foot to the log. So what do I want to do? And I'm going to let him kind of find his own way. I put him in position. He's looking where he's going. I'm going to get up off of my seat and give him a big release. I'm moving my hand forward, and I'm giving him a big release to take that big step all the way out. I sat down before his back leg got over it. He hit it. If I would have rode all the way through the obstacle, he wouldn't have hit that last log. That was my fault.
Okay, Brent. Let's break this up into 2 videos so that
Okay.
people can watch it. So is there anything else you want to do with the logs before you start on your bridge and gate?
No, I think that is a good start. Just walk and jog, no loping, just make designs, take time to do it, just like I'm doing now. Yeah, you don't have to walk straight logs. Walk the corners. There, he did good there. You can do that with the little box.
And the more they walk it, the more they're going to be comfortable with where they find their feet at. Unfortunately, there are some horses, I call it Braille trail. They have, just as if you were reading Braille, you have to touch everything. They have to touch all these things. Those horses just tend to not be your horses that are going to make exceptional trail prospects. So, as Brent's finishing up here over a few logs, we will be progressing through, as he said, with Eli and the next steps with these. We hope you like this video. Subscribe to us on YouTube. There will be more. We're going to now move on to 2 other obstacles that are going to be trail, but this is it for this session. Thanks a lot. Hope you enjoyed it.